Hello, it's Jen Bengal here from Out of This World Literacy. Yesterday, I defined interactive read alouds and shared 5 quick steps in an interactive read aloud with you. If you missed episode 64, go back and check it out. Today, I'm going to talk more about preparing for an interactive read aloud. The interactive read aloud time is really the heart and soul of the classroom because it's where you'll get so much resources for your reading and writing workshops. The books you read to your class through interactive read alouds will become mentor text examples in all of your reading and writing lessons. Because they are so important, we really need to spend a little bit of time preparing for our interactive read aloud time. I have 5 steps that I do to ensure that my read aloud time is active and the students are not just passive learners. Number 1, what I do to prepare is I take the books that I'm looking at and I want to read them first to myself. I want to make sure that I love that book. If I love a book, my students are going to love it as well. I want to think about, will this book be connecting to my students in a way that's going to be exciting and fun for them? So read the book ahead of time. Number 2, get to know any intriguing characters or events, any facts or opinions, etc., that you feel like you could highlight during the interactive read aloud time. So really get to know it. Number 3, plan a purpose and then tell your students or plan to tell your students why you chose that book before you begin reading. So for example, if you're starting a personal narrative unit next week, you're going to be picking books that are personal narratives. And you might say to the class, we're going to read this book called whatever it is, and we're reading this because it's a personal narrative, and next week we're starting a unit on personal narratives. So we'll be talking about this book a lot over the next couple of weeks. Let's read it together and see how we can tell why this is a personal narrative and what's it about. And just say that before you start doing your read aloud. Number 4, remember this is not passive learning where you simply read to your class or you read to a student. They are actually going to be active participants during and after the read aloud as if they were actually reading it themselves. So you want to plan accordingly. Number 5, plan ahead where you will stop and share your thinking. Plan ahead where you're going to have the students share their thinking with you, and then also have a few spots where you want to have them turn and talk about some thinking. So you're going to scaffold the learning from your modeling a think aloud, and I talked about this in the earlier episode, to then you inviting the class to share their thinking and then having them all turn and talk. Mark these spots with highlighter tape or post-it notes ahead of time so you can be really prepared and you can keep the lesson really focused. Because say, for example, you want to point out the highlights of what a personal narrative includes, you're going to want to stop and share thinking about those ideas, and you're not going to want to get too sidetracked with other things that just pop into your brain. So by having this all planned out, you will keep the learning and the flow really well organized. I hope this chat helps you plan and think carefully about what books you'll read with your class and use as mentor text in your reading and writing workshops that are coming up. If you're listening live, I'm hosting a brand new free live training on interactive read alouds. Visit jenbengalwebinars.com to register for a live training now. It's been my pleasure chatting with you today. Know that I'm the biggest fan of the work that you and your students are doing in the classroom every day. If you'd like more teaching tips, you can check out outofthisworldliteracy.com. Until next time, you've got this.